The panic button is officially out, and so are we. The panic button has not been pressed, but it is out, and so are we. And I'm joined with my boy, Liam Horrobin, live from the Sports Closet studio, where the first comment of the day comes from Moss, who all capitals said, "Let's go Oilers. We need to win. Hashtag meatball sub night." No, it's going to be a Wendy's night. It's going to be a DoorDash night, but I do appreciate a good Wendy's sub. As I said, I'm joined by my pal, Liam Horrobin. Liam, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good, I think. We'll see. I think tonight will go better than people think. All things considered, the Oilers have actually had two pretty decent home games and have just stumbled at the final hurdle. Today, they just got to get over that hurdle, and I think they can get 2 points.
Dude, hurdling's easy.
I've hurdled. I once won a 110-meter hurdle race.
I need footage. I don't believe you. Picture, I don't believe it.
I used to be quite the athlete back in my day.
Used to? What are you talking about?
Well,
you still got it?
The odd trip to Wendy's here and there is really packed on the pounds. But I once set the 400-meter record at my junior high.
In Sherwood Park? Sherwood,
Yeah,
you go to Sherwood Heights?
I was a Sherwood Heights.
What
are they? The Cougars. And yeah, I set the record.
Wow, I'm actually very impressed.
And one day
you must have had soccer speed back in the day.
I had great speed. I won the 400, I won the 800, and I finished second. What was it? Was it the 1500 we used to all do, or was it the 1200? 15. I came second in the 15, and I won a relay in one day.
There you go.
Not bad. I'm not bragging.
Hey, well,
I can barely run 100 meters anymore.
There's Liam's Athletic Corner update, sponsored by Sherwood Ford the Giant, and they also sponsor the show. We love Sherwood Ford the Giant. They are the best, and they've got a little new friend we will get into in just a bit, Sherwood Motorsports. They're doing some awesome things in our neck of the woods, Liam. It's actually the two Sherwood guys are actually here today doing this. This is the first day to bring them on the show.
And Pat's not too far away in his neck of the woods either. But yes, Sherwood Ford is expanding. I guess is a good way to put it. Into the heart of Sherwood Park, allegedly.
Yep, the heart of Sherwood Park. We were debating earlier where the heart of Sherwood Park actually is.
I know where it'll be when it's completed.
You're damn right. You're damn right. But as we know, things are getting a little sweaty here at the Oilers Nation office and the studio. And no, that's not because the thermostat we discovered was at 23 degrees.
It was boiling
before the show. I was looking at Liam. I was like, "Why are you sweating so much?" Normally, I'm the sweaty guy.
Pops was on.
It's not 4:00. I hope every one of you got that reference right there. But things are a little, as I said, the panic button's out. I'm not pressing it. I see in here who said it. QF Pro. I won't be hitting the panic button until we lose both tonight and the Heritage Classic. That's his bar. I agree with that, but I'm not going to put losses out in the universe right now. But I'm not panicked until after Sunday. And to be honest with you, I might be a little inebriated on Sunday, so I probably won't even panic. Liam?
When is American Thanksgiving? Is that 2 weeks from now?
It's soon.
It's sooner than I thought.
Let me check the NFL football schedule.
That's how I judge it,
That's the quickest way I can do this.
Look, I think we need to put this into a bit of perspective here. Early doors. The Oilers win. I'm pretty sure they were going to a playoff spot tonight. Like, to be honest, I get it. Like, the Oilers have had an absolutely horrendous start to the season, but it's not as bad as we all make it seem. It's stuff like, like you watched the Winnipeg game on Saturday, and Stuart Skinner has a brain fart. It cost the Oilers 2 points. They managed to get one. You go into Minnesota on Tuesday, and the third period was an absolute letdown. Like, I know some people maybe want to blame the goaltender a little bit. Some people that sit right there usually. But
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
He's not here to defend himself, so we're going to rip him.
The third period wasn't great, and it's a team effort, and I think they're getting the kinks out of their game right now, and it sucks to have to go through this so early in the season when there was so much optimism. But I'm not close to the panic button yet. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all, but I'm chilling.
Not panicked yet, but I'm not comfortable. That is for sure. I see in the chat here, QF Pro said Liam still looks like he could be a weightlifter. There you go. That's the nicest thing anyone said to Liam today. So there you go. Lance, I like this. We all used to be athletes. That's why we yell at hockey players.
Yes.
That's very fair. That is very fair. That's why I'm on YouTube. And shout out to my buddy Dave Lukic. He puts in here tarps off broadcast today? I don't know about that. We got to wait until we're really down in the dumps and we need something to get this team going. But I don't think looking at these two milk bags is going to do anything for anyone.
Trying to get people to watch the show, Dave.
Oh, perfect. So just wrapping up kind of everything that's happened this week. Liam, the NBA season started this week. It really got going last night as Victor Wembanyama made his NBA debut. I think this kid is absolutely electric. It's fun to watch him walk into the stadium. It's fun to watch him warm up. It's fun to actually watch him play basketball. Sure, yes. If you guys didn't know, Victor Wembanyama, 7'5", first overall pick in the NBA draft this year. The kid's going to be something special, and he debuted last night. Liam, did you watch?
No, I didn't watch. I was watching the show Park Crusaders last night. Didn't win, unfortunately. But with Wembanyama, and I think this is with any young player that comes into the league, we've kind of seen it with Bordato too. It's not, you're not just one game in and all of a sudden you're a superstar. Yeah. Like, it's a process to all of this, and he's going to be a stud. Borda's going to be a stud. Like, it's a good time to be a sports fan.
The future is bright for recent number 1 overall draft picks. I also want to point out the Toronto Raptors won last night. My guy Liam over here is not a believer this season.
Nope, they stink.
To be honest, even if we made the playoffs, we'd get swept in the first round. But they did get a dub last night. So I think wins are going to be a little few and far between this year. So I'm going to enjoy them for the Raps and the Raps fans. Let me know in the chat if you're a Raps supporter, because I would love to talk Raps anytime. But Liam, we did get some breaking news before the show inside the studio. And it was your boy, the man right there, Devon Shore, just scored an NHL goal tonight. Liam, the floor is yours.
I'll be honest, and I know I am a Devon Shore supporter, but that might be one of the goals of the season.
Do we have it, Pat?
Yeah, it was an incredible goal. Like, you can't see it too well in the original clip as it goes on, but I don't even know who passed it. Whoever passed it, he knocks that puck out of the air and then goes 5-hole. That might be McDavid in disguise, because boy, oh boy, that was a special goal. One thing you may notice about Devon Shore, which may have led to this goal.
94?
94, he had a shave.
Ooh.
He had a shave. So it was
He's more aerodynamic that way.
Yeah.
Fact.
Crazy goal. I'll be honest, I didn't know he had it in him. But there you go. He was a second round pick.
I love seeing Devon Shore.
Look at that. That is a great goal. Boom, boom, boom. Textbook, really.
Dude, that was filthy.
It took him like 50 games last season to get a goal. Well, here we
Warren Fogle, watch some of that. Let's go. That is pretty. I mean, I like the 94. I love Devon Shore. He was so good to our German fans last year.
Oh,
you're an honorary German fan.
Yes. The story behind this picture, for people who don't know, I met Devon Shore with the Germans last season when they came from Oilersnation Germany. The funny thing about the Germans is it should probably just be Oilersnation Europe, because most of them, like, no, not most of them, but like a few of them are from Switzerland and like other areas too, close by Germany there. And they called me. I was at home just waiting for this game to start, and they called me and were like, "Do you want to come to the game with us?" That is so nice. Yeah, an extra ticket and you thought of me. So we went. They met Leon Draisaitl, I believe, the game before, early that week, whenever it was.
And Stutzler.
Stutzler in Ford Hall, and then
the big man,
Devon Shore. So we got this nice little picture together.
The one who puts the asses in the seats, Devon Shore. Bring him home. Bring him home.
Thank God he played that night.
Oh, that's good. But getting back on track with the Edmonton Oilers, as I said, the panic button, I think it's been pressed by some fans already. We're in Oilers Nation every day. The chat, we're getting a wide variety of takes every single day. It feels like every single hour, either in the Instagram comments, Twitter, doesn't matter where. But I think we can all agree that a 1-4-1 start is an abysmal start for this hockey team. And I don't know if it can simply get any worse. Knock on wood. I know it can, but I don't want to make this point, and I hate that I'm already doing this, but I am scoreboard watching 6 games into the season. And if you haven't looked, we are 11 points behind Vegas right now, I believe.
Yeah.
I know it's early, but that doesn't help with the panic that we talk about, Liam.
No, it's a bit of a gut punch when you see teams like Vegas, Colorado, even Boston, who lost 2 big pieces to their franchise this past summer, to go undefeated to start the year. And you look at the Oilers and they're struggling to get wins. What I will say is Vegas will go through some kind of a slump this season too. Maybe it won't be 6 games like this, and maybe they won't be as dismal as the Oilers look right now. But there'll come a point where one of those 3 teams is like, 1-3 or something like that.
They'll have a run
they'll
like
have
this,
their run,
just like we're having.
Right now, I just want to see the Oilers get a win. I want to see them. To be honest, I've not really looked at the standings properly yet. When I said they're probably in a playoff spot at the start of the show, that was an assumption.
Yep.
But this team is better than Anaheim. They're better than Seattle. The Calgary guys were freaking out about their team too. They've got articles on their website talking about how this team might need to be rebuilt. Like, it's just kind of a crazy time in the Pacific because we all had such high hopes for the division as a whole. Very early days still, though.
I love this comment in the chat from David. Oilers fans are just poopy pants because it's snowing outside and Davo is hurt. The boys will come around, D will steady, and the depth scoring will come. David, stay in the chat all show long because I think a lot of people need to take some of that advice. I see Jeremy Lebrecq right above said, I may have tapped the old panic button. See, we're getting it. We're getting it at all angles here. So, Liam, we touched on this week. A lot of people are blaming the new defensive system the Oilers are running. Meanwhile, our boy, Tyler Remchuk, he's blaming the goalies. I think it's more for me on the players. Evan Bouchard's quote today, if you didn't see it, I think is pretty good evidence of that. Pat, I don't know if we actually loaded that one in here, but I can paraphrase. Basically said that goals getting scored in front of the net isn't the system. It isn't. Oh, nice. You got it right here.
No, we don't have it.
Okay. It isn't the system, and it's an effort thing, and that's on them. I agree with that. For me, the theme has been clearing out the front of the net. We talked about Tyler. He's been all over the goalies. Liam, where do you kind of come out on all of that?
A bit of both, I think, is a fair way to put it. Like, I don't like the idea of grouping, and I did this last season too with Campbell. I don't think it's fair to group an entire season into one stat. Like, I'm not a big fan of save percentage. I think it obviously paints a picture, but you got to take it game by game with goaltenders and actually evaluate what happened. Like, that game could have probably been 10 plus if it wasn't for Jack Campbell the other night. And I get it. There's 2 goals in that game that you want back. I think it was the second one when she spilled right in front of him, and then also the Ryan Hartman hat trick, which was not good. Like, it was a weird one, but also Evan Bouchard allowed 3 goals on himself through errors on his own. They allowed Joel Eriksson Ek just to walk out in front of the net and do whatever he wanted to do. And it's just like, that's 4 goals right there. So how can we sit there and just blame the goalies? I think Skinner has actually been reasonably okay. Like, last game, he had a brain fart and it cost him a win. Tonight, I promise you we will not have another brain fart like that again the rest of the season. I promise you.
The Liam Horrobin guarantee.
Sure, put whatever you want on it. That will not happen again this season to Stuart Skinner. So there you go. I think the Oilers goaltending is already better than it was last season, which is crazy to think about. You got to think last season, we saw a goal probably around this point go through Jack Campbell's glove. That was brutal.
Yes.
The sky was really falling at that point with him.
Yeah, Liam, I'm still not giving up hope. I thought it was kind of I don't know, it stood out to me today on Oilers Nation every day. We had Jay, the big man, Jay Downton, on the other end of that couch right there. And he said that he feels like a disappointed father when it comes to the Oilers. And I think that might be kind of how every Oilers fan feels right now. For me personally, I always think that the Edmonton Oilers are never out of a hockey game, even when we were losing. Like, we were leading in the second period, right, against Minnesota, right when we give up the lead. Normally, I have the belief that the boys are always going to be able to come back, light the lamp, over will always cash. But this year, it feels a little different right now, Liam.
Yeah, it does. It's so weird, isn't it?
Right?
Like,
I can't put my finger on it, but it's just
that game.
The whole team's back besides Davo.
Yeah, like the game in Minnesota, I think was the pinnacle of it. I think the third period, once Minnesota got that goal, it did feel like a little bit of life had been sucked out of the team. And I believe they took a 5-3 lead, and then the Oilers put on a bit of pressure from there, got the power play, scored that power play goal, put a little bit went on after that, went to 4-on-4, and then the back was broken from there. But Winnipeg was a different case too, of like the Oilers pushed back pretty hard in the third period, just couldn't score. I just think so many things are going wrong for this team right now that it's not going to happen for 82 games in a row. And it might just take a good team like the New York Rangers to come into Rogers Place tonight and really try and put it to the Oilers for the Oilers to have to respond in a better way. We might get some boos tonight if it goes poorly. I've got a feeling.
Yeah, I got a little rant I've got prepared for a little bit later about what I want to see from the Edmonton Oilers fans. But we're going to be doing things a little bit differently today. So we're going to get into the New York Rangers lineup first because we have a very special guest joining us today. It's Ryan Mead from the Breakaway Podcast.
Hello, greetings, gentlemen.
Hello, Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well. Can you hear me okay? Everything okay technically wise?
Yep, sure can. You sound great.
Wonderful.
Look even better. I thought that was a Christmas tree behind you, but no.
No, it's a corn plant. I'm very corny.
Oh, ooh.
Can't wait.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you coming to join us. We really want to thank you for it because we don't get to see the New York Rangers very often out here in the western part of the world. So the Rangers, I don't know. Do you live in New York?
I used to. I lived in New York for 32 years. Now I'm in the great city of Philadelphia, which happens to be, a rival of New York. So there you go.
Nice. Well, I shouldn't ask you that.
yeah. No, everyone knows. Everyone makes fun of me. It's totally fine.
But as a lifelong New Yorker, my question kind of for you, I guess it's also kind of more of a statement, but are the Rangers going to be the most likely New York sports team to have a championship shot right now? Because when I think about it, I was going through the list. The Knicks, meh. The Mets, meh. Yankees, meh. Jets, Giants, Nets, meh. And I believe the New York Liberty just lost in the WNBA Finals.
That's correct.
Do the Rangers have the best shot?
They do. We talk about this very often. Actually, last April, we were talking about how it's the New York sports renaissance. Everything was on the up and up. The Giants just made the playoffs. The Mets had infinite money. They got the cheat code. The Yankees at least had the MVP and Aaron Judge. And then everything went to crap very quickly. The Knicks, hey, they made a run. Awesome. But they don't have that last superstar. The Rangers can make the run. Here's the thing, guys. They're also probably a lock for third in the Metro. Wow, that's super cool. You know who else is really good? The Devils and Jack Hughes. And Carolina is one of the best regular season teams every single year because Rod gets the most out of people. I still don't really understand how he does it. It's a bunch of if you look at the NHL top 50, there's one Carolina Hurricane and that's it. And then it's okay, but they're projected for 111 points. Oh, awesome. So the Rangers are stuck at third in the Metro. They are a really good team. They have a lot of star power, as you guys likely know. But in general, in New York, they're definitely by far the favorite for winning a title the soonest. But that will end very quickly as soon as the Yankees or Mets make another move.
Yeah, that's very fair. Both of those temes will just buy their championship.
That's correct. Yes.
I'm pretty jealous that they can just do that. I want to get a little update on the New York Rangers. So they're 4-2-0 to start the season. They've looked good. The numbers look good. We had Johnny Lazarus on the show earlier.
Yeah, complete fraud. Continue, though.
And he basically said that the Rangers aren't producing 5-on-5. I kind of want to get your take on the Rangers so far this season.
We are producing 5-on-5 in ways that we haven't in the past. So we used to have a coach named Gerard Gallant, and I use the word coach there extremely nicely because he wasn't hardly a coach. He didn't really talk to anybody. He didn't run practices. There was no system. And as much as I was against the Peter Laviolette hiring when it happened, he's been a tremendous breath of fresh air. It's one of the weirdest things I could ever tell you. He runs a hard practice. The team is celebrating and hugging after every practice. And because of that, they're getting into these new scenarios that aren't just 5v5, they practice 3v3, 4v4, all these weird things that they never did before. But your question was about 5v5. And generally, my friend, over the past 3 years, the Rangers have not been a 5v5 team. We call it power play and Igor, and that's kind of how we win. That's all we do. We power play, we Igor, and then everything else is kind of it's nice. But this is the first time in a couple years we've had some lines that are really 5v5 powerful, and that is I think what we're calling French toast line. We're still figuring out. It's the Hedel, Alexis Lafreniere, Panarin line. That has really just been sort of a revelation to start the season. They never played with each other under Gerard Gallant. He refused. So it's sort of this brand new. And one other thing to note about them is that Laviolette only starts them in the offensive zone. So they're not the best defensive line there. They can be exposed, but the 5v5 scoring can come from that line, especially because they get paired with Adam Fox.
I love how you brought up the power play there because as Edmonton Oilers fans, I think we can relate to being power play merchants very, very much so. Johnny as well today, he brought up the new addition, Blake Wheeler, to the team. Liam, you yourself today said that you think he's more of just a name in a Rangers jersey. Has his start to the season been a little disappointing for Rangers fans?
There was a player last year named Jake Lecision, who played on our team, and we called him Phantom Jake because it was he just like wasn't anywhere to be found. So he was a ghost. So we call him Phantom Jakes. And this year we have Phantom Blake. So it's like he really hasn't made an impact just yet. He looks a little bit lumbering. It's like slow. He's not really getting it just yet. And I do think they're going to give him a month or two a run. In this case, I think Jimmy Vesey is just a strictly better player than Blake Wheeler, especially at this point in his career. Vesey's defensive metrics are amazing. He can really provide on that checking line with Will Cooley and Trocheck at this point. So Wheeler, he's sort of lumbering around, big name, and hopefully he can find a way. But for what you paid him, it's totally fine.
I'm always curious when we get guests to cover other teams of what they think of the Edmonton Oilers. Like, what is the perspective coming from a New York Rangers blogger, I guess?
Whatever. Yeah, you guys are not a blogger, just an idiot with a microphone.
Sorry.
Hardly even write. Like, writing is like 180 characters. And that's about as far as we go. But for the Oilers, they're a weird team for me to like talk about because it's like two of the best players. They remind me of like the Angels in baseball. Like it's like two of the best players ever. They're right there. They're sick, and then everything else around them just isn't working all the time. And like I know that you guys have other play. Hyman is another player. Like I know a lot of the guys. Like I get that. The depth just like isn't there. And I think you're another team that kind of got hurt the same way we did, where when the salary cap went flat, these additions you were going to make before weren't there. And then you made all it takes is to make one bad investment, of which I think you made one or two. And then like, that's kind of it. Like Jacob Trouba gets a ton of shit from Ranger fans. Now he's a solid defender. Is he an $8 million defender, guys? Like, no, like probably not. But then all it takes is like that. And then your flexibility with your team is kind of, you can't do as much. So you guys play in the West. That's awesome because it's not as much of a meat grinder, at least in my opinion, as like the East and with how many teams there are. Two of the best players take you there. And then it's just like some of these depth pieces have to get hot for the playoffs for you guys. And like, that's all it really takes. Like you can have a good cup run, win one or two easy rounds. And if you're healthy with a healthy Connor McDavid in the finals, like you're the favorite by far. And that's just an easier path than I think a lot of people in the East.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And I guess I don't want to say thank you for comparing.
No, it sucks. Like I'm in the same boat, dude.
Being compared to the Los Angeles Angels kind of broke my soul right there. So I hope we can keep our star players. But two players that I want to ask about on the Rangers, young guys with a lot of hype. That's Capo Kakko and Alex Lafreniere there. One former first overall pick, Capo Kakko, also high up there. How have they been so far this season? I'm hearing that Lafreniere has been better. I believe he has 3 goals so far this season. I still consider him more of a playmaker, not a goal scorer. So start with him. What do you think of his game so far this year?
Yeah, well, I'm just close my window before all these Devil fans get in and yell at me because you mentioned Capo Kakko. So in this case, Alexis Lafreniere, look, much to be desired. I don't think he'll ever live up to his number 1 overall pick status. We all kind of thought he was this special talent, and right away you can kind of tell it just like wasn't really there. And that's fine, but he's never also been given the chance. Like I see these stats sometimes from like Jay Fresh and some other people. They're just like, look, he has 100 minutes of power play time and he's done nothing. Like guys, I watched every minute of every second of those power play times. It was my dude trying to regain the zone with 23 seconds left in the power play. Like that's not who he is. He is a playmaker, like you said. He wasn't even a pure goal scorer in juniors, even though he had like 217,000 points in the 2 years when he was like 18, 19. But he's sort of been able to, he's playing with 2 great players now. Players he's never like had he's played with Filipino. He has the repertoire with him, but Panarin can make anyone look good. Ryan Strome got a 5-year contract. Like he made Ryan Strome like really good for a long time. And because of that, he's doing the exact same with Alexis Lafreniere. So I'm pleased with his status. I still think he could be a top 6 player, but Ranger fans have a right to freak out. Like he's not a number 1 overall pick. If we redid the draft, he doesn't go there that way. He can be like the power, the potential is still there, but it's probably not going to be like the game breaker that we all thought it could be.
And we do have a Devils fan in the office today, but he's not here right now. Now I will ask, Capo Kakko, what have you seen from him That's a guy for me that I don't know a ton about. There
got
was a
you.
little hype.
I started a church. Like, I got your back. Churchcaco.com, everybody. So anyway, obviously there was hype. He was like noted as like the NHL ready player. It was going to come in and all that stuff. Like Jack, first of all, just all kudos to Jack Hughes. Everybody knew he was number one overall pick. There was never really a conversation. Not sure where that narrative came from. Second of all, Kaapo Kakko like was noted as this ready to go in the NHL right now. Was not. One of the worst rookie seasons of all time. Absolutely horrific. David Quinn, terrible coaching, and made him become like this defensive wizard, which has become who he is. He is a ridiculously responsible two-way forward. He has the shot. He has the playmaking ability. His puck control and board control is unmatched. Probably the best on the team. But the points they're not there. And it's the exact same thing I say with Alexis Lafreniere. If you're just like looking as a casual hockey fan and going out there and saying, hey, what's up with these points? Like Kaapo Kakko, number 2 overall pick, how doesn't he have not more points? Like, it's because he had 22 minutes of power play time. Like, that's kind of it. Like the whole year. And with that, Kakko's just not going to produce. But now he's playing firm top 6 minutes for the first time in his life. The line with Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider looks really good with him. And I know who he is. Is he number 2 overall pick skill? Like, I think he still could be. But there's a difference between like a really, really good number 2 overall pick and then like a lower tier version. He's sort of in that lower tier.
You got a prediction for tonight? Johnny
Yeah.
predicted an Igor Shesterkin goal, so that was pretty big.
Okay, I would die if Igor scored. I've been waiting for like 3 years. I do have a prediction. I think Mika Zibanejad scores. He has not scored against this season. I will tell you guys that I know you guys are hurting without Connor McDavid and all that stuff. And there's a bit of a rough start. The Rangers love to play down to their opponents. I'm talking like guys like they're on a hot streak right now. They're feeling good. They're feeling great. Went 1-2 in a row. They love to play down to people they should beat. So look forward to that.
Well, Ryan, you hurt my feelings a lot with that Angels comparison, but you totally redeemed it right there.
They love
that
it.
makes me. We also, man, I'm seeing a lot of similarities with the Rangers because we also love to play down to teams as well. And, well, Ryan, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got a busy schedule going. We were limited here. So thank you very much for joining us.
You.
That was Ryan Mead from the Blue Shirts Breakaway Podcast. Over and out, soldier. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Man, that guy was a beauty.
Yep, he was good. He definitely made my heart hurt a little bit.
Yeah, I see a lot of people in the chat there. I saw Connor Howley pointed out, he goes, oh no, not the Angels comparison.
The Angels one is a tough one. But you know what? I'm pretty sure the Angels have never made the playoffs with Trout.
Yeah, no, he's never played the playoff game.
Take that.
We wait for him to leave before we say anything negative. I see some people in here. Frio Tani. He also brought up, and like I mentioned there, the similarities between the Oilers and the Rangers. Their Darnell Nurse seems to be Jacob Trouba.
Which is, I always find that very interesting. And we got this brought up the other day too when we had Seth Tupol on from Locked On Wild, when he gave the perspective on Bill Guerin. From an outside perspective, you think Bill Guerin's a pretty good GM, everything he's kind of done for the team. And from this perspective, I always thought Jacob Trouba was pretty well liked in New York. And you know what? I think he's I'd take him in Edmonton, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, he's still good. But his highlight of his career is when Draisaitl fired his stick to the rafters. That was sick. That's the kind of game the Oilers need tonight. They need some attitude, and they need guys to step up who usually don't. Now, I'm not talking about Fogle and Kane because I think they're in top 6 now. They should be stepping up. They need something from that third line. That's what they need. And I'll be honest.
We'll get into the Oilers in just a bit.
I think this team is beatable. I really do.
Yeah, I really do. So we take a look here on your screen. We have the New York Rangers lineup report, which is presented by Greta Bar-Yeg. I think if you know me by now, you know how much I love Greta, and I love having a good time there. A little bit of Mario Kart, a little bit of football, a little bit of skee ball. You can do it all there. And somebody asked me recently in the chat, why does Greta always get the visitor lineup? I didn't really think about it that deep. Maybe it's because it's likely that these players will actually be stepping into Greta. I hope so.
Probably.
Maybe my guy Cade, the manager, can get him a little feeling a little pretty bad the night before. But as we take a look here, the top line of Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad with Kaapo Kakko. Second line, which has been absolute heat so far this season, are Temi Panarin, Philip Hedl, and Alexis Lafreniere. Then the third line of Will Cully, Vincent Trocheck, who I believe I saw get in a fight the other night that didn't seem very like him, with Blake Wheeler, the name that's just inside of a Rangers jersey. If you look Liam, they didn't even give him a number yet.
Because he's just a name.
Because he's just a name. Fourth line of Barclay Goodrow, Nick Bonino, and Jimmy VC. I really can't wait to see what I'm going to put the over-under on how many times I say Bonino tonight. But looking at that fourth line there, Liam, we'll start there. That looks like a pretty good bottom fourth line for me. I like Jimmy VC, and I love Barclay Goodrow.
Yeah, Gaudreau's, they're all good. Like that fourth line is better than the Oilers' fourth line, to be honest.
Well, we only have 2 players.
Yeah, it's true. Draisaitl should be able to take care of that line tonight, though. You know,
With last change, yep.
Bonino, solid veteran player. Gaudreau, they both have experience of winning Stanley Cups. VC is just a guy that's kind of bounced around a little bit. Never lived up to that hype he had coming out to the Rangers, actually, I think, is the team he signed for originally. So not too concerned. That the line is obviously that second line. It sounds like it's been kind of buzzing on all cylinders. I just hope Mika Zibanejad doesn't wake up tonight. That would be so Oilers to allow that to happen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I agree. So Mika Zibanejad so far this season, he has been goalless. But for me, it's all about that second line where you see Artemi Panarin. He has 8 points in 6 games, 3 goals, 5 assists. Philip Hedl has 6 assists in 6 games. And then Alexis Lafreniere has 3 goals in 6 games. So they are producing. And as we heard, they don't do much 5-on-5. Johnny Lazarus said that's the only line that's doing anything on 5-on-5. So my attention will be pointed towards them on the defense and the pairings. We've got Ryan Lindgren with Adam Fox, who, if you didn't know by now,
pretty good.
He's pretty good. Second pairing of Keandre Miller with Jacob Trouba, Darnell Nurse 2.0 apparently. And then Eric Gustafson with Braden Schneider. Liam, what do you think of Adam Fox so far in his young NHL career? The guy just produces.
I mean, yeah, he's one of the elite defensemen in the league. My favorite part about him is that he told the Calgary Flames he didn't want to play for them.
Hey, me too, bro.
He's great, and he's always going to be one of those defensemen that's up on the stat sheet, right? So one of the guys, I think if you go to these games, he's a similar guy to like Quinn Hughes, who I think Fox gets a lot more acknowledgement than Hughes, but like, just watch him tonight. Just see what he's all about. He's an elite defenseman in the NHL and special player.
He's one of the guys I have circled tonight. As we know, in the Western Conference, we don't get to see a lot of these Eastern Conference teams. I'll be excited when the Devils come to town. Same dealio. But I think we spend more than enough time talking about the New York Rangers today because all of the attention and all of the spotlight are on my Edmonton Oilers. So for me tonight, the Sherwood Ford Giant storyline. Okay, it's for me. I might go on a little rant here. For me, it's can we figure out this defensive system? Now, I don't know. I have to refer to someone that's above my pay grade to check in on systems. But for me, it's about clearing the front of the goddamn net. That's all I care about tonight. I don't care if we lose. I don't care if we win. Just show some pride, show some energy, and bury a man in front of your goalie tonight. It's that Joel Eriksson-Ek one that's really stuck in my head. He was able to walk in front of the net untouched and make a little move and bury it. Dude, I don't care if you get I know I'm crazy. Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't care if you go in there and bury and break your stick on his back and you're in the box for 5 minutes. I need to see some emotion. I need to see some pride. I need to see some bounce back. Liam, what is your Sherwood Ford Giant storyline? You're dripping water on my lap. Yes.
My Sherwood Ford Giant storyline is very similar to that, to be honest. I just think that they need to be dialed in the defensive zone. What I'll say is a simple one. They need to play 60 minutes. They need to not give up anything too easy. Like sometimes it's going to happen, right? But I think when you look at the one goal that Winnipeg scored, I think it was Josh Morris who scored, and it was a great shot. It's like that is an earned goal.
Yeah.
The Oilers need to
screened. There was perfect. Yeah.
The Oilers need to make the New York Rangers earn goals tonight. And you know what? If New York wins that way, then it is what it is. But the Oilers need to play more disciplined, especially on the bench. Crazy stuff happening over there.
Should we unpack that for just a minute here before we get into this? How does that happen? It said we tied an NHL record with 3 too many men penalties in our last game. They were absolute backbreakers. I couldn't even understand. Like, dude, there was one time I went to a commercial break and then we came back and we were in the box. I was like, wait, what happened? Like, what's going on? And then, of course, to bench mine or something like that. Liam, I don't know. You're a scout. How do you scout awareness on opening and closing the door?
Intelligence. like the one too that really ticked me off was sometimes it's gonna happen once a game. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But like the Brett Kulak one where he's just like unprepared
to go on the ice.
Go on the ice. Like, buddy, you've been in the league for like 8-9 years now. Like, you should know that. Like, Philip Broberg shouldn't be the one determining that's like, oh, he's not ready. I have to keep playing. Like, that's just a bad error, and it just kind of shows, I think, where that team was at in that game, right? Just so many mental lapses throughout. There is no way they can be like that tonight.
Lance said, "Is too many men coaching, or is it on the players?" I don't know.
Players.
For me, it's on everybody, and I don't care who it's on. Just fix it.
This isn't Adam anymore, where
Exactly.
you're gonna get like a tap on the back, being like, "Okay, little Philip Broberg." You're
Also, the other
realm
realm for me with Brett Kulak, and I don't want to talk bad about my boy. He's got my signed photo right there. But if you're a third pairing, maybe I'm just thinking about this too logically. If you're a third pairing D-man, shouldn't you be frothing at the mouth to get on the ice right there?
True. I'll tell you, like Broberg wouldn't miss that moment.
Oh,
Like a guy who's desperate for ice time to prove himself isn't gonna.
he's gonna jump on too early.
Maybe there's a little bit more to this than we're thinking
Yeah.
in that situation, and not to dig too much into it, but like, be prepared. Like, just all areas of the ice, be prepared for things to happen.
So our secondary Sherwood Ford storyline is be aware,
Be aware
of who's on the ice and how
Yes.
many of you there are. Patrick, I also haven't introduced Patrick Puff yet. Behind the scene, Pat, what's your Sherwood Ford Giant storyline tonight?
I mean, we've talked about it all season. My storyline is going to be goaltending, but just in the sense of we just need Stuart Skinner to be Stuart Skinner. He doesn't have to be better than Jack Campbell tonight. He doesn't have to be better than Igor. We just have to find his game and just focus on himself. If we can get him, if we can keep maybe to 2 goals for the Rangers, we can probably win this game. And obviously he's going to need some help from the defense, but I just would like to see Stuart play his game for once. Hasn't been the best start this season, but he's only played a couple of games. And I don't think we can count him out just yet as having a bad season. I think it's a little too early for that.
I completely agree.
Yep, I agree too, Pat. Every time you come on, you speak so many facts. I
I'm
just
trying.
love it. But let's get into the Oilers lineup report presented by Sherwood Ford the Giant, Dealer Raiders 2023 Dealer of the Year, and 2023 Consumer Satisfaction Award winner. They do it all. They do everything, and they've got a new partner, but we'll get into that near the end here. As you see on your screen, we've made a couple changes, most notably to the defense core.
Yes.
On the top line, it's Evander Kane, Leon Draisaitl, and number 13, Matthias Janmark,
Oh yeah.
because of course. Second line of Warren Fogle, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Zach Hyman, which I thought has arguably been, I don't know about our most consistent line, but they've been doing what I've needed to see from them. Third line, of Dylan Holloway, Ryan McLeod, and Connor Brown. And then a fourth line of Adam Ernie and Derek Ryan. No, Vincent Desharnais is not there. I always talk about, Liam, how I go on Reddit before to check the other team's
Oh yeah. You tell me
game
this.
day threads. And today, one of the comments that really stood out to me, it was at the time they had Philip Broberg on that fourth line wing spot.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy went on a whole rant about how there was a scout back in the day who said Broberg would never make it as a D-man, so he should try it as a forward. Oh my God, I can't believe he's actually going to be doing this. And then somebody commented, no, they're just going 11 and 7. And the guy,
They just don't make the graphics that way,
They
unfortunately.
they just don't do it. But the big news, it's the defense pairings. So our number one pairing tonight is Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci. Let me know in the chat how you feel about that one as your number one. But the big story, it's Matthias Ekholm with young Philip Broberg with a third pairing of Brett Kulak. And you guessed it, Jay called him the 6th best defenseman on the Oilers, and he should be playing as the 6th best defenseman on the Oilers. Well, Jay, you got your wish. The man has been demoted. So, Liam, I'll start with the D pairings. We talked about this a lot in preseason, I guess, on Oilers Nation every day. The idea of pairing Broberg with Matthias Ekholm to create this, as I said before the show, the sexy Swedish duo we've all been looking for. But he did it last year with Evan Bouchard, or he did it for an extent because maybe that's been lost so far this season.
Yeah.
Do you have confidence that a player like that paired with Philip Broberg, that this is going to be a positive thing?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's kind of both ways, though, too. I think Ekholm can benefit a lot from having a guy like Broberg who can be mobile and help him out in certain situations. You got to think, like, Ekholm's, 5 games back now? Still finding his legs in some situations. I actually thought he was reasonably good against Minnesota the other night. I like Broberg. I think he's had a very good start to the season. And I think he deserves this opportunity to prove himself within the top 4. Will he stay there for a long time? I don't know. He's going to have to prove himself, isn't he? But I like what we've seen so far from Broberg. And I think tonight we're going to get as Jeremy put, the Swedish connection thriving.
The sexy Swedish connection. I'm
Yes.
throwing sexy in front of all of that for the rest of the season. But the Oilers are rocking 11-7 again. I said not by strategy, but by necessity.
I liked that line.
Yeah, you did like that line. I did make you giggle
Yeah.
before with that. But of course, that means Matthias Janmark stays on the first line, because why not? I haven't thought Matthias Janmark has been that bad. I know there's been conflicting things in the chat. There always is. For me personally, I thought he's been more than adequate. Liam, where do you come out on Matthias so far this season? Is he Swedish? Where's he from?
I believe he is Swedish. Yeah, he definitely is.
Sexy Swedes.
I don't mind Janmark. He just kind of is what he is, right? Like, I don't think he's anything special.
But then why is he playing on the first line would be the question.
He's just a bit of a Swiss Army, a poor man's Swiss Army knife, I think is a good way to put it. Like, you can put him out there. He's got some offensive skill. He skates well enough. He's good at, like, you saw that chance he had against Minnesota where he drives to the net. He might be able to come out and do that. Or he might just not do anything to harm the team for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's
Do
why.
some cardio.
Yeah, it's kind of think that's why he's been trusted there. He's a reliable player, and I don't think they want to break up that second line, although I do think Fogle might deserve a bit more opportunity tonight. And then the third line is good. They just don't score goals. And I think that's the way they're kind of lining up. Is like, okay, well, Janmark's kind of the good odd man out in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Let me know in the chat how you feel about that Janmark being up there on the top line. I mean, right now, like, all right, the chat's starting to make me laugh. Sergeant Battle said, sexy pregame show with BORDZY. Lance said, foreplay with BORDZY.
Oh,
no, absolutely not. But it's pretty good stuff in here right now. I see Moss said, Oilers need to trade for lower concession prices.
Yeah.
March said, Ekholm and Broberg may be a sexy Swedish duo, but they will never replace Larson and Clefbaum.
No, never forget.
Pour one out. Pour one out for the lost homies. Waz, why don't you pour some water on my laptop again? he's still standing right here, folks. But for me, Liam, I wanted to bring this one up. You brought this up today. A little spice today on Oilersnation Every Day about that third line of Dylan Holloway, Ryan McLeod, and Connor Brandt. So as we've noticed, they've been a very energetic line out there. They've kind of been doing what they need to do, but they haven't been producing any points. So, Liam, I'll let you have the floor here. Explain your theory to me and let me know in the chat if you agree with this, because I think there might be something here, but I don't know.
I just think they're all very similar players, and I think switching Holloway to center might be a better bet than having Ryan McLeod as a centerman. And, like, look, you can have McLeod take your draws or whatever you got to do there, but Holloway played center in junior when he was with Okotoks, and I believe he played even a little bit with Wisconsin. We saw it in spurts a little bit towards the start of the season too. I just think Holloway is going to get in there a little bit more than McLeod. McLeod's just not a shooter. Brings a lot of speed.
He's a perimeter player.
He's a perimeter guy. So put him on the perimeter. I just think that's a good place for him. Connor Brown, I know people are upset with him. And the amount of times I've seen people talk about putting him on waivers is uncomfortable, to be honest, so far
Good word choice.
this week. He's going to get you pucks, and eventually he's going to find his feet. It's just going to take one goal for that line to figure it out. Last game, Holloway had a great chance, and he put it right into the pads of Philip Gustafsson, I believe his name is. Bear down on that, man. Like, act like you want to score that goal. And I know Holloway does, and he is a very good player, and I love the way he plays. But that line needs to find some production. Otherwise, they're not going to be playing together much longer. Yep,
that's very fair. And looking just further down the lineup here, this is something that I was kind of ranting about before we went live here. Adam Ernie. So Adam Ernie on Wednesdays, Oilers Nation Every Day, he was getting a fair amount of shit talk. There, I'll just say it. He was getting talked about badly. Now, I kind of come out on it differently. Like, after a game like that where we blow it like that, I'm not saying we lost a game because of our fourth liner who played 8 minutes and 43 seconds on the ice. I know Liam kind of comes out on here a little differently than me. for me, changing out an Ernie for a Lane Peterson or Raph Lavoie, that's not solving my issues. Don't get me wrong. He could play better, but I guess the argument I want to make was a lot of people in the chat were saying, Ernie, you got to get him out. You got to get him out. I don't think he's the problem with what's been going on. I think there's a laundry list of other things. And then Adam Ernie's right about here. Liam, push back a little bit on that one.
Look, I'm not going to say and pretend like Adam Ernie is the issue of this team.
Yeah.
He's evidently not. And I mean, when you play 8 minutes,
The number one
night,
fan, get rid of Ernie.
when you play 8 minutes a night, like you're not really having much impact. But that's kind of my problem is I found moments throughout where Derek Ryan is having moments of like, he did something good. He drew a penalty. He had an opportunity. He did something well defensively.
Gets beat up by his own bench.
Yeah, like, but then Adam
yes, I agree.
Ernie is like, what do you do? I just feel like at the moment he's just the 11th forward that just goes and skates around. And why can't that be Lane Peterson? Why can't that be Lavoie? Hell, why can't it be Sam Gagner? You know, like, and also on top of that, you're now expecting Draisaitl or McDavid or Nuge or whoever it may be to cycle through that fourth line.
That's fair.
You need someone who can play with these guys.
Okay, that's fair if you're rocking 11 and 7.
Yeah,
that's
and
fair.
I think that's the way I'm looking at it is, yes, they are just the fourth line. But when Draisaitl and McDavid or whoever goes on that line, they need to have guys to play with. I think Derek Ryan can play. I don't know if he's an everyday NHLer anymore. I think he's been put into that situation because, quite frankly, the Oilers have no money.
Yeah.
Hands
are
I
tied.
don't know. Yeah, hands are tied. I just not an Ernie guy, and it reminds me in some ways to when they had Ryan Murray here last season, and then Ryan Murray all of a sudden just disappeared, and no one's heard from him.
Where
since.
is he right now?
I don't know. Someone should check in on that. Actually, it's kind of
Somebody let me know in the chat. What's Ryan Murray up to these days? I miss you, bro.
It just reminds me of that, where it's like he's just here to kind of be a number on a spreadsheet for a little bit.
Yep.
I'm just done with it. I just don't want to see the Oilers be in that situation anymore. I think you look at a team like Vegas, their fourth line produces. They got some good speed on that line. And that's where you need to be. The Oilers need to Stanley Cup teams roll four lines. They do. And Adam Ernie isn't a Stanley Cup winning player. Actually, he might be.
Whoa!
Wait a minute. I changed my
Talk
entire
myself
answer.
around. There we go.
Let me check that.
I'm just checking on the chat here. A lot of people saying bring back Gagner.
I have an article coming out on Gagner tomorrow from his first game.
Hey, there you
two
go.
assists in his first
I'll
game.
wait for my hot Gagner takes until I read through Liam's article on Oilersnation.com. Hey, also, you want to get more Oilers Nation content? Subscribe to the YouTube right now. The one you're watching. If you're commenting, you can only comment if you are subscribed, right, Liam?
True, yes. So everyone commenting.
Thank you to each and every of you commenting. But
Can we
if you
get some
can't,
likes?
be sure to hit that button. Also, oh yeah, we didn't even set the like goal today. Oh, we got to make some serious work here. People, smash the like goal, the like button, because our goal every game now is going to be 97
We've got 10 minutes.
to try and, you got 10 minutes. You better step on it. Not Tyler Mulick or not Tyler Mulick. We're going to need you to create a couple extra accounts.
I'm going to go on all my accounts right now.
My last Oilers question before we get into the Betway bets of the day. Kulak and Bouchard on the third pairing. As Jay said, 6th best defenseman. Slot it in as your 6th best defenseman. I think Bouchard will still get his regular power play time. Is this a good decision?
Yeah, and I think a good comparison for it. Well, firstly, players need to be held accountable. Evan Bouchard, I know he had 2 points on the power play. Maybe 1 point on the power play, whatever it was. -3.
3 points, -3.
Terrible night. Needs to be held accountable. I think he should have been held accountable in that game, but now it's being addressed at least, and that's why Broberg's been elevated, because he played well. Deserved the opportunity. I think it's fine that Bouchard would be a third pairing guy. I know you want him to be a top 4, and that's fine. I get it.
He's not right now.
He's just not right now. Tyson Berry for this team was very rarely a top 4 defenseman. But hell, we all loved him on the power play. Why can't Bouchard just be that guy? And in moments when, say, the Oilers are trailing in the game, they're trailing with 3 minutes left, whatever it may be. We've all seen that this season. Put Bouchard up there. Give Bouchard the chance on the offense. Because quite frankly, at that moment, defense does not matter. You need your offense to click, and that's when Bouchard can be useful. So he'll probably play like 16 minutes or so tonight, I bet.
Yep, for me, as long as, he gets power play time, and if we're down, God forbid, hey, you got to start giving that guy some more shifts.
Have you seen the news in our chat right now? I don't know if they're pulling out a leg or not. Is Jonathan Quick starting tonight? We should know this. Pat, do we have anything?
I will look into that.
Yeah, I guess they would have just came out on the ice a little bit ago. Oh my God, that would be so awesome. I am instantly filled with energy.
Okay,
Please let me know in the chat.
I thought about this before. And
Gina just came to tell you Jonathan Quick is confirmed in net for the Rangers tonight.
I'm seeing it. Yep.
oh my goodness. This is big, people.
Let's
this
go,
is big.
people.
Put the panic buttons away. I said that right. I put a P in front of the button.
Well, that's nice that we went so long with the show and we didn't even get into our starting goaltenders matchup
Yes.
because we got the wrong goalie. Oh, baby, let's go. Jonathan Quick night. We're going to light him up.
Okay, can someone correct me on this if I'm wrong? And please do, because I'm not 100% sure. This is coming to their head. Was the last time Jonathan Quick played at Rogers Place Game 7?
Probably.
Probably, right?
Mhm.
I feel like I don't remember
Where else
seeing
would we
him.
have?
He obviously was on the Kings last season. I don't remember seeing him. I remember Phoenix Copley and Corpusalo, and I'm pretty sure they only played the Kings once at Rogers Place before he got traded. I'm pretty sure that was the last time, because then in Vegas he obviously didn't play. He was the third string.
I'm seeing it in here. Quick will steal one from Rusty the Reckless Pessimist. You almost got me there, Rusty. I read the initial one. I was about to freak out. But no, we're good in there. Gina said I'm being serious, Liam. Yeah, lots of that. Bring Cassian out of retirement, which we'll touch on in just a minute. We got to go quick here. We got to go quick. We got to go Jonathan Quick, actually. Okay, so this is the time. Betway. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. If you didn't know, we do Bordzy's Bankroll. Every single show, I give you 3 bets, supported with a couple of nice stats. We throw them in the YouTube poll, and we're going to squad ride together. Feel free if you want to. Bet within your means. Bet responsibly. Patrick, do we have the stats?
We do.
Let's go. So as you see on your screen here, both the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers are ranked in the top 10 in the NHL for power play percentage. You heard our boy earlier, Ryan Mead, say it. We're both power play teams. Both the Rangers and Oilers allow over 12 penalty minutes per game. Wow. The Oilers are currently ranked in the bottom third in the league in penalty kill percentage, 75%. Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl is currently leading the Edmonton Oilers in points. He's gotten points in 5 of 6 games this season. The Oilers have only lost 4 straight games once all of last season. Wow, that's a stat I really didn't expect to be pulling out this early into the season. Finally, Zach Hyman has 4 assists in his last 4 games. Hyman's last game against the Rangers, he recorded 2 assists. So without further ado, Bordzy's Bankroll tonight. Pat, if you could throw this in the YouTube chat for us. Our first option is going to be Zach Hyman to get 1+ assist. That's plus money at 110.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty juicy right there. Oilers to win and Draisaitl 1 point. I laughed. I just realized I threw a photo of Brett Kulak over there. Can you tell who I am?
I actually have no idea.
And that is at plus 125.
that's funny.
Personally, now that Kulak's face is on there, I hope that one gets picked. And the final option of over 1.5 power play goals tonight. That is for both teams in the game.
Yeah.
So let me know in the chat. I'm seeing so far it's early, but Hyman 1+ assist is running away with it. Liam, do you like any bets tonight?
I think there's only one place to go, isn't it? And that's with Brett Kulak.
I think it's Brett Kulak's face right there.
Yeah, I think that's a nice one now that Jonathan Quick's in goal. It's funny. I went and looked. Jonathan Quick has a 964 save percentage this season, but he's also played 2 games. One of them was a 9 save game. So I'm assuming he came in relief. I believe when Johnny Lazarus spoke to us, that was the Nashville game that they got blown out.
Yep.
And then Seattle, which was a good game for them, I guess, 18 saves. I'm going with, there's only one place to go. But although power plays are going to be interesting tonight.
Also,
I wish that was just plus money.
I ride with whatever my squad in the chat decides to go with. It looks like Hyman right now. But once again, people, that doesn't mean you can't throw down on all 3 of them.
Yeah, you can do
If
whatever
you want, you can do whatever you want. It's your money as long as you do it responsibly and you're above 19 years of age. Patrick,
And your name's
is there anything that you like this evening on the betting front? Kulak hat trick incoming? God, I hope so.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to skip past Hyman for a second. I've lost too much money betting on the Oilers to win, so I'm going to skip that one for today. They've lost me too many parlays.
Yeah, you
not
really
to say
have.
it's not going to happen, but I'm not doing it yet. Over 1.5 power play goals could certainly happen. You heard our guest earlier, Ryan Mead. Lots of power play talent out there tonight, so that's definitely possible. But I think the main one, Hyman getting 1 assist. It's so juicy. 5 assists already on the season, like we said.
Yeah.
4 in the last 4 games. It's a lock for me.
The chat seems to agree with that, but it is starting to get a little bit closer here. I laugh so hard at the Oilers Nation comments here. Who did it? Could only be 3 of us that are in this very room together. It says you can't bet if you're Shane Pinto. No.
Too soon?
From the top rope, baby. Let's go. I love that.
How bad?
Anything else? Also, just kind of in the sports world right now, just to give you a little catch up before we drop the puck.
There you go. Gina said I was right.
Hey, there you go. The Tampa Bay Lightning are beating the San Jose Sharks 5-0 right
Shocker.
now. In the start, or
God, they're
third period is about
horrible.
to start soon. The Penguins are beating the Avs 3-0.
Oh, that is surprising.
Let's
Really?
go. I know. I didn't
Wow.
see that one coming. A couple other games here. Bruins are beating the Ducks. Jets are beating the Red Wings. But what I need to check in on is my good buddy Tyler Yaremchuk's Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
They started playing, I think, like 15 minutes into the show. I do have the Bills to cover tonight, and they are currently up 3-0 on the Tampa Bay 11. So go Bills, baby. Go AFC East, I guess. I never really have I cheered for the Bills, but I gotta go with where my money's at tonight. Just catching up in the YouTube chat here. Lance said, I don't mean to brag, but me and Bordsy is a squad. Yeah, we're boys. We're boys. The Boost shot prop is a freebie bet at 2.5. Yeah, that is pretty good. I mean, even though he's on the third pairing, I really don't think that's going to affect it that much. As we said, he's still going to be getting all of his power play time. Derek Ryan, Hattie. Goals will come quickly tonight. Ooh, nice little pun there. Nice little pun. Lance said, I don't like these stats. Well, people, we've only got 2 minutes before we drop the puck. So, Pat, let's close the poll. And then, as I have to do every time, I have to get my bet in immediately right now when there's still time. So, you know what? Maybe I'll do that in just a second. So, for my co-host, Liam Horrobin, thank you for stepping in the big chair today.
You're welcome.
We didn't even explain why. I just totally brushed over it. Tyler's at the game tonight, and you know his motto of avoid the grind. Hey,
Big of him.
you gotta enact what you're actually preaching all the time. You gotta practice what you preach. And this way we were able to give Devon Shore screen time for the entire show today. So I really appreciate that one. I want to thank my sponsors, Sherwood Ford, The Giant. We want to give a shout out to Betway 19+. Please play responsibly. We weren't able to get into our starting goaltenders matchup, so we'll do it here. Shout out to Montorio Homes. At Montorio Homes, you can build your dream home your way without breaking the bank. Montorio Homes, they're the best. Go visit them right now. They've got show homes. You can enter in to win 4 premium Edmonton hockey tickets. Look at that. Visit Montorio Homes today at montorio.ca. And let's start building the home you've always envisioned. Once again, the starting goaltenders, it is going to be Jonathan Quick tonight against Stuart Skinner. That gave me so much energy and confidence boost right before this.
It's going to be
And
big.
I just know that I have to sit back in this chair in After Dark, and I really hope I don't look like an idiot. So, once again, I'll be doing After Dark after the game. Our guest tonight is none other than the man, Baggedmilk. So, I'm sure Satan will be joining us at some point. Hopefully not.
Hopefully a
Hopefully,
good one.
hopefully we're in a great mood tonight. Or, like, is Satan ever in a good mood?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
find out.
maybe we'll find out tonight. So, thank you very much, everybody. Good luck to the Edmonton Oilers. Good luck to all of you squad riding in the chat. And we will talk after the game. See you.